Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. We are back. We have taken a week off, and we will talk about that shortly, but we are back for episode number 77. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, and I am here with my good friend, Mr. Mike McLaughlin. How's it going, buddy?
Very good, you handsome bastard. How are you?
I've been better, and I think it was on the last episode of the show. I was like, no, mate, I'm having the worst week of my life.
Yes.
Things have picked up a little bit. I didn't really want to go into things because I wasn't overly sure what the hell was going on with the catastrophe that was my life at the time. But my wife has decided that we are getting divorced, so that's been fun to deal with.
Yeah.
It's very, very amicable for people that are worried about me. The main concern obviously comes from the fact that I don't want to lose this studio, so I'm trying to work out a way. We're trying to work out a way that I maintain this big house and a music studio, because, mate, the idea of having to start over from square one and build a sound space for myself to video in and record audio in is just a nightmare. I do not want to have to do that again.
I don't see that happening. I think you'll come to something amicable, as you know.
Yeah.
And as you said, things aren't too bad.
Absolutely, we're on the path to sorting that out. So yeah, and life is looking up. Like I'm perky, I'm happy, I'm smiling, and I'm enjoying life again. I think it takes something horrifying like that for you to eventually walk away from it and I think, actually, yeah, have I really been as happy as I could be? And it's sometimes a hard thing to say. No, maybe I haven't, but yeah, I think the podcast and the interaction that I've had. Like I let my patrons know this immediately, but. Just I love interacting with you guys, and we've had a bunch of people that have reached out to us over the last few days specifically saying, what's happening, where you guys at? I need my weekly Guitar Souls hit, and that really does mean a lot, because it for me personally, it's a nice driving force. It keeps me moving forward, and I just honestly, some of my best friends in the world, as well Mike will attest to this, like I live in Scotland because of people that I got to know online and then eventually came to visit, and I'm here type thing. Like I've made all of the best friends that I have in the world via the internet. So if you are a listener of the podcast, I consider you a friend. Keep in touch. I'm thinking of you. I'm sure you're thinking of me. But yeah, keep being pals, and you guys rock. You keep me moving forward. So anything interesting happening with
you? Just trying to sort out new jobs, and I'm now officially 3 weeks on sertraline. You can't really see because of the light. Yeah, that's about it for me. I've had a few people reach out as well, actually, from the last episodes talking about mental health and taking medication, and I just want to say thanks. I know we spoke about it the last episode again, but if anything I talk about helps anyone else, even if it's one person, and I've had one person reach out and say that specifically, then I'm happy. And things are going well for me, I think. So.
Good.
Aye, all right. Although I'm really needing a haircut, because like how baldy I'm looking, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, that light doesn't help any, but I will. A fucking widow's peak going on here. I'm going to have a peninsula soon.
Absolutely stunning. I'll before we do the ad, I'll do a bit of a rage time, right? I wanted to do this. I knew I was going to do this rage time. So I posted this on Instagram. I bought a new car, desperately needed a new car. Just needed a car because I've been sharing a car with my wife for the last 6 months after she wrote my car off, and now it seems appropriate that I would have my own car to drive around. So I went and bought myself an
Only
Audi.
Appropriate.
Exactly. I bought myself an Audi A4, just old second-hand Audi A4, but nice looking car. Does the job. Moves like shit off a stick, as you would expect from a car like that. And I bought the car. 24 hours later, went into Glasgow. Had arranged myself a wee date. Went to pick up a lovely girl, and drove 2 miles, and then the car broke down in the middle of the road. Which was that was certainly a fucking experience. That was an enjoyable one, and the hardest part about that is not immediately turning into Levi. You know what I mean? Like not immediately seeing red and like booting the shit out of my car and being on the phone to the garage with like, what the fuck? What is this lemon that you've sold me? You motherfuckers! You come and do something about this fucking. I've never been more embarrassed in my entire fucking life. And she sat there like keeping an eye on me because she's very aware of like who I am and what I do. And I'm constantly reassuring her, no, the Levi Clay you've seen on my YouTube channel, that's just a character that I slip into. That's just the persona, and there is a large element of truth to that. But yeah, oh boy, did the rage time want to come out there, and I was just constantly sitting through it and thinking, no, remain calm. You will vent about this on the podcast. It will be fantastic. You can rant about fucking used car salesmen and the shame and embarrassment of trying to impress a beautiful lady and then having your car break down midway through doing a U-turn in the middle of the road.
That's just tragic, man. And what makes it more a pain in the ass is the fact that you and I went to see the car, we asked the questions, everything on paper is as it should have been.
Yeah.
And then you text me just saying, or tried to phone me, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I've tried to phone you back, and you're just like, yeah, I just want to let you know that my car's dead.
Yeah, I was calling you to be like, mate, what do I do? Help. Like, what the fuck do I do? Why is my clutch pedal going down and not coming up? And so an additional rage I have to throw into this, and this is my own fault, really. When I bought the car and then took out the insurance on it, I elected to not get myself the breakdown cover. I added the motor legal protection because after the situation that happened when Haley crashed my car, not having motor legal protection was a pain in the ass, because it means that while we are dealing with a claim on that, it's a no-win, no-fee claim type thing, rather than it all just being paid for. So I was like, yeah, well, I've absolutely got to get the motor legal protection, but didn't get the breakdown cover. So obviously that meant phoning up the RAC and being like, right, I've broken down. I need rescuing, please. And they're like, right, that'll be £180 to join us on a pay-as-you-go term. I'm like, sorry, how much? Can I not just join you annually? Yeah, you can do that tomorrow, but now you need us in a kind of pay-as-you-go situation, so that'll be £180 to join, to have us come and take a look at the car, plus any cost of parts or anything like that. And then they got there, and I'm like, I need this towed back to the garage, so can you do that, please? And they're like, it's going to be £100. And I'm like, fan-fucking-tastic.
Did you not check your bank account or anything? Do you not get breakdown cover through your bank?
So that was another reason that I think I was phoning you, because it's not something I've ever had to deal with. It's entirely possible that I had breakdown cover with my bank. It's entirely possible that I did have breakdown cover via... In fact, I'm relatively confident that I do have breakdown cover via something, right? But I just, in that moment, did not know where it was or how to deal with it. So that was thoroughly embarrassing, and I think anybody would have loved to have seen me stood by the side of the road in the middle of town with a beautiful woman. And I mean, what a champ. She stayed with me for 4 hours while that car was broken down. So if that isn't a keeper, I don't know what is.
The best date you've ever had.
I'm just looking, and we sat in a pub while I was waiting for the breakdown to come, and I was like, right, so ignoring this, tell me about the worst date you've ever been on. So yeah, absolutely glorious. And of course, I had a good time, and therefore I can smile about it. So that was funny. Something else also, I should let you know that this show is brought to you by Ormsby Guitars. If you want to see something beautiful, head on over to Ormsby's Instagram page right now and see what they are all about. Ormsby Guitars have been at the cutting edge of guitar design innovation since Perry started the company way back in 2003. Since then, the brand has gone on to be one of the #1 brands associated with Australia and modern guitar design. Aside from having one of the most ridiculous custom shops in the market today and a dedicated team that can essentially build you anything that your heart desires, more recently the brand has gained critical acclaim for their runs of custom order guitars manufactured in Korea, shipped to Australia, and then sent out through their distributor network. These guitars include incredible designs such as the Hype and the Goliath. If you head on over to Ormsby's website right now and check out the pre-order section, you can pre-order a Goliath Run 14 guitar now for under $1,200. That's an incredible price and an amazing amount of guitar for your money. So, as always, a massive, huge thank you to our friends over at Ormsby. It's just occurred to me, we didn't draw attention to this in the intro, but we're back in separate locations. Mike's not in the studio, and that's because we are doing our best to respect the fact that Scotland has thrown ourselves back into a lockdown, and it is now illegal to visit people's houses, which is an interesting turn of events, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a step backwards, but see, at the same time, I'm quite grateful for it. I think in the long run it should play out well, but we'll see what happens.
Will it? Do you think it will really play out well? Oh, you can't go and visit your pal, but you can all meet up in the pub.
Oh, like, I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically you can go anywhere you want, because I could send you money through PayPal. So, I mean, in a sense, your phone is a card machine, and the only difference between your house and the pub is the card machine. So, really, you could argue that I was coming to your house for business.
That would be dangerous, though, because I'd need a license, surely, to then serve you alcohol.
But no, I'm not saying I'm buying alcohol from you. Okay. I could be down and send you a penny and you're giving me a guitar lesson.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So like a tradesperson, because you're not allowed people in your house, or certainly gatherings. Just any gatherings whatsoever, because that would be dangerous. But tradespeople can come into your house if you haven't work done in your house, because obviously tradespeople they don't carry any. They wouldn't possibly carry any illnesses with. It's not like they visit lots of people's houses.
I know. That's it. That's the safest. The safest.
Absolutely.
They're like the plague doctors, except what they actually do is fix your door. Or plumbing. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah, enough about that. So again, thank you to our friends over at Ormsby. We do have exciting Ormsby news coming, and we will let you know as and when we can share that information with you. We are going to start the show today. We are going to start today by talking about the glorious, the incredible Megadeth. And we're doing this for a couple of reasons. There's an interesting story, but also, of course, Rust in Peace just turned 30 years old. 30 years old. I did a listening party stream for it the other day, just because I needed to do a live stream. And in the comments, people were like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the anniversary of Rust in Peace." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, it's the 30th anniversary in 4 days' time. I'm like, why didn't I? It's an unbelievable coincidence that I chose that album at that time, and I could have waited 4 fucking days. But yeah. On that note, actually, if you check out Bradley Hall's YouTube channel, I have appeared on there very briefly. He did a full cover of the entire Rust in Peace album from start to fucking finish, which is ridiculously bold. And I am in there playing one of Marty Friedman's little solos. So go check it out. He's a good guy, and that was kind of fun. But yeah, so let's talk about this story, Mike. Give us the rundown.
So Megadeth's Dave Mustaine looks back on David Ellefson's $18.5 million lawsuit, and the quote they've decided to pull is, "He got his ass handed to him in public." So I remember posting this to the group and being like, fucking hell, I know Dave has a reputation of being an asshole, but shitting on a lifelong business partner, musician, friend, someone you spent a lot of your life with, a lot of your significant milestones in your life creating with.
Yeah, well, and for clarification, is still in a band with.
Yeah, exactly, right? So had his period outside the band and has came back, which they've made it very clear that he's actually an employee, not a member of the band or whatever the fuck they wanted to call it. But it just, when I first saw that quote, I was like, holy shit. And then as you read on, it's like, okay, it's a bit of a clickbait title, but at the same time, it's kind of disrespectful in my mind.
Yeah, he did say those words, so...
He did, and they're not massively out of context, but they also miss quite a lot of other parts. Anyway, this was on Blabbermouth on the 17th of this month, so just over a week ago.
It's a little bit old now, but...
Yeah. In a new interview with Fox Sport 910's Freak Nation, Megadeth main man Dave Mustaine reflected on the fact that he was sued in 2004 by the band's original bassist, David Ellefson, for $18.5 million, alleging that Mustaine still owed him substantial merchandise and publishing royalties. In January 2005, the case was dismissed in court, and 5 years later, Ellefson rejoined Megadeth. And goes on to a quote from Mustaine. "I think forgiveness is a super cool thing. When David Ellefson sued me for $18.5 million and the judge dismissed it and then made him pay a bunch of money on top of that, he got his ass handed to him in public. And I was really, really, really hurt by the things that he said about me. And I thought, you know what? If I never see him again, I guess I'll be okay. And I was sad, but I figured he was gone. One day, I was flying home from Dallas and the flight stopped in Ellefson's hometown of Phoenix. And for some stupid reason, I called him up and said, hey, you want to have dinner? And he said, yes. So we went out, and the first thing he said was, I want to tell you it was the stupidest thing I ever did suing you, and I want to apologise. And I looked at him and I waited a beat, and I said, Dave, I forgive you. I completely forgive you. I love you. And it was over like that. And I think that's really something great that people should take with them today. Anybody listening to this, there may be somebody you need to forgive or somebody you need to apologise to, but I'll tell you what, it makes you feel a lot better at the end of the day.
What an incredible quote, and what a shit show of journalism to have gone with the quote that they went with in the title, because I think you'd get the same level of clicks. I would hope that you would get the same level of clicks just from going with, Dave Mustaine talks about how forgiveness makes everything better. Like forgiveness is an art form. People are going to be intrigued by that, and they're gonna want to click on it. There's just a really nice message in that, and it's
Absolutely.
totally right.
And it coming from Dave Mustaine as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A man who's famously known for having such a horrible vex for the band that he was kicked out of,
Sure.
that he created another band that were just as good, if not better, in a competitive
if not
way.
Better, considerably better.
Well, in my mind, I agree. But
I'll fight someone to the death over that.
Just in terms of like revenue, and popularity, and mainstream success, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's no slight on Megadeth or Dave.
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting story, and I thought it was cool to give that little additional bit of context with that, because it is a great message and one that I wholeheartedly endorse. Forgive people. I'm not very good at it myself. There are certain, I guess I wouldn't forgive Lance Benedict, but forgiveness generally a very good thing. Does make you feel better. So good on you, Dave. And so cool to see that Rust in Pieces, like I say, turned 30 years old. What an incredible, incredible record. I would encourage everybody to go and listen to it because it is just astonishingly good from start to finish.
Absolutely.
And I know they're out in Nashville at the moment working on the next album. So expect more from those guys soon. Why don't we move on to something quite funny?
Let's do it.
I think you know the funny one. There's a new pedal that's coming. It's available soon from Dunlop.
It's limited edition. The Tom Morello Crybaby. Wow. This man who hates capitalism, hates it, is full on both feet first diving in. Signature guitar, signature wah pedal. Oh, honestly. But the best part is really it's a niche Scottish joke, let's be honest. But it's brilliant, right? So for those who aren't fully aware of the Scottish dialect and the kind of slang that gets used, there are certain words that can be used as insults that aren't really insults unless you're in Scotland, right? So,
like beast.
Dauber is a beast, right? Yeah. So some people call themselves a beast. In Scotland, if you're a beast, it essentially means you're a paedophile. Yeah. Right? That's a beastie bastard is like a paedophile. Yeah. A beast is what they use for like a sexual predator, especially one that attacks children. Yeah. Like, there's a few different words, right? But somebody being a weapon means that essentially they are just a fucking idiot, a dafty, right? Just they're not worth paying attention to. They're not to be taken serious. They're flippant in their own right. All right?
Yeah.
And Tom's went with this beautiful slogan on the side of his wah pedal that says, "You don't need a weapon when you were born one." And it's like, you're fucking bang on, mate. You are a weapon. How did you get it right? So, without even meaning it. Perfect.
Absolute weapon. Yeah. And
absolutely fucking tremendous, man.
Yeah, and it's even better when you consider, of course, that he didn't go for any other wah. He could have gone for any wah on the market, but he had to go for a crybaby. Because Tom Morello is the fucking king of the socialist crybabies, wiping his tears away with all of his money. Oh, the poverty in the world makes me so sad. Oh, where's my royalty checks? Oh, what an absolute fucking weapon!
Exactly. It's perfect. Like, he's done it himself, accidentally and perfectly, without even meaning it, which is tremendous.
I think he meant it. I think sometimes Tom Morello does things like that just to get a little bit of coverage from us. Because for somebody that I'm not a huge fan of musically, I'm quite a fan of the Audio Slave stuff, but Rage were never really my jam. Man, we talk about Tom Morello a lot on this podcast.
He's the new Corey Taylor, isn't he?
Yes.
For now, at least.
Thank you so much for that, Tom. That's I really did enjoy that. You absolutely.
And thanks very much to Barry McAleenan for bringing this to my attention, because when he sent me, I was fucking pissing myself. So thanks a lot, Barry. I appreciate it, mate.
Yeah.
That was short but sweet, wasn't it?
It was. It absolutely was. On the note of Barry, actually, Barry has pointed out that Guitar Wank, Scott Henderson's podcast with Bruce Foreman and Troy McCubbin, I actually need to call out Troy McCubbin. Troy, you sad individual, stop commenting on my podcast, stop commenting below, stop doing it and linking to your own podcast, okay? Stop doing it. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. You shouldn't do that. It's embarrassing. If you want to collaborate with us, that's absolutely fine. That'd be cool. But just leaving a link to your podcast and then not engaging with me when I respond to you is fucking embarrassing, mate. Think about it.
Pretty poor networking, innit?
Exactly. They just had Henry Kaiser on Guitar Wank for an interview, and of course we've laughed about Henry Kaiser before. So if you want to enjoy the beauty of people trying to talk to Henry Kaiser as though he's a serious musician, where he's sitting there in an interview trying to tell people that he invented looping, Henry Kaiser is another absolute weapon.
This is going to be the new word. We've taught it to everybody that we want to insult, but in a flippant way, as in like you're not worth the effort of a good insult, is weapon.
Exactly.
You're a weapon.
Yeah, weapon.
It's such a throwaway comment, but it's so good.
To quote Rob Chapman, weapon is pretty size.
Did you just quote Rob Chapman?
Well, I'm trying to make size a thing, you know. That's
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. It was something that Rob was trying to get to catch on as his new, way to describe something as cool. He was he even posted Facebook statuses literally saying, "Oh, that is so size." But he tried to coin the term. It wasn't that he was trying to imitate what other people were doing. Just a little bit embarrassing, really. Kind of like Troy McCubbin from Guitar Wank. That's right, I'm calling you out again, Troy. It hurts me because I like that podcast and I love Scott Henderson and I love Bruce Foreman, and I'm so happy to see them comment on a couple of our shows and link to their show. And I was like, oh, cool, this might be a nice little. We could have a nice little bit of bants with these guys. But no, they just wanted to try and piggyback off of how awesomely popular we are when they're a considerably more popular podcast.
You know what I mean? It's
a little bit embarrassing.
Imitation's the most sincere form of flattery. Yes. That's what I would say.
Let's talk.
Says me, the nobody.
I mean, you play in Party Cannon. You tour the way like you. I'm sure you're
right.
You're out touring.
I'm an accomplished nobody.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Yeah,
this year's fucking. Yeah. All the gigs got cancelled.
Yeah, tours might never happen ever again, mate. I'm very prepared for that now. John Petrucci. So you and I, we went. Where were we even going that day? We went for a drive. We went somewhere. We did something. Did we go to Cope Bridge? I can't remember for the life of me where we went. We went on a drive and we listened to John Petrucci's new album, Terminal Velocity, and we enjoyed it. Or, well, I certainly enjoyed it. How did you feel about it?
It was all right. I mean, I've kind of grown away from instrumental music, as bad as that is.
That's fair.
I find myself getting less and less excited about guitar music and more excited about music that I find ticks other boxes for me, like good vocalist, melodic, clever chords, just hooks that catch you in.
Yeah.
Not to say like I'm moving away from enjoying guitar or whatever, but I just find myself, I'm less excitable than I was when I was younger, and like less engrossed in like I have to consume all of these albums because I have to know everybody and everything and every technique. But for what you let me hear, I quite enjoyed some of it. I thought some of it was a bit wanky.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a Happy song or something?
Oh God, yeah, Happy song. Scotty doesn't know. Just
it's not even a good name for a song.
I know. Apparently, back in the day, that song used to be called Cloud 10, which is a good name for a song.
That's clever.
Yeah, you can see where that's come from. But then to just call it Happy Song, like Jesus Christ, John. I thought it'd be worth just talking about the album because I do. If you were to ask me what are the best guitar albums that have come out in 2020, that's going to be on the list. It's full of great guitar playing. It's definitely not going to be the best. I was actually having a conversation with Doug Cartwright just yesterday. We had a Skype hangout, and I think we both agreed that like John's albums, there's some great playing on there, but it's a mixed bag of what he's saying with it as an artistic statement. It's some new material with him pushing some boundaries, but then there's some old material on there, like 20-plus-year-old material, and then there's stuff that feels like 10-year-old Dream Theater stuff. So it feels like a collection of songs that have been written over a long period of time rather than a new statement. And for that reason, both Doug and I would agree that like if you want an all-out guitar record that's just solid from start to finish, go and listen to Andy James's new record. Like, because you're just going to get...
I've not heard that one yet.
You'll just get something consistent from start to finish. Just it's going to start with a vibe and end with that same vibe, and it's going to feel like it's a current statement from an artist expressing themselves in the current time, rather than that kind of... I hate that instrumental guitar approach where it's like, oh, well, I've got to put the novelty country song on there or whatever just to show my chops. Like, Andy's not interested in that. Andy just writes belters of tunes. And it all fits. There's a vibe from start to finish. So I'm transcribing the record at the moment. It's a great record because, of course, it's Andy James's record. But let's go back to Petrucci. So John Petrucci confirms that an 8-string signature guitar is under construction and explains what he expects to accomplish with it on New Dream Theater.
Good God.
Do you want to continue?
The guitarist also discusses his preference when it comes to picks. Oh, wow. Let me read more. During a conversation with Young Guitar, Dream Theater guitarist John Petrucci talked about a signature 8-string guitar from Ernie Ball Music Man, the brand's newest material, guitar picks, and more. Sorry, that was really badly read. John is promoting his new second solo album, Terminal Velocity, released last month as a follow-up to 2005's Suspended Animation. As reported, the effort features Mike Portnoy on drums and Dave LaRue on bass. Asked if the rumours of an 8-string Majesty is being made are true, Petrucci replied, My signature model's with the Ernie Ball Music Man, and it's been 20 years with the Ernie Ball Music Man, so that's unbelievable. It's been an incredible relationship. But they all come in a 6-string and a 7-string version. One of the things I've talked about for a while now, there have been rumours, the rumours are correct, is the developing of an 8-string model. Why not add one more string? Because you don't need to, John. Stop it. So specifically, we are going to come out with an 8-string Majesty model, and that is something that's being developed, and it's been a project that we've been working on, myself and the engineers that are in Ernie Ball Music Man. Why does he talk like a fucking idiot? It's like he just has to repeat Ernie Ball Music Man, and
because he's been with them for 20 years and he's learnt what it takes to maintain a business relationship like that for 20 years.
What, name drop every fucking sentence? And it should be ready in some form, even if it's a prototype, for me to be able to use on the next Dream Theater album. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be, as all the Ernie Ball Music Man instruments are, it's going to be amazing. It will be the best. It will be an incredible 8-string. Has John Petrucci been taking fucking diction lessons for Donald Trump? It's going to be the best, the absolute best 8-string guitar in the world, the greatest anyone's ever seen.
Well, we do have to remember he is a Trump supporter, so it's entirely possible.
You know what? Like the way this is reading, maybe not the way he's said it in the actual interview, is very Trump-esque. Yeah. It's got that dismissive, self-aggrandising nonsense annoyance that I get from it. Anyway, sorry. For me, I don't play 8-string guitar. I never really played one, so I'm looking at it as an opportunity to experiment with a brand new instrument. Very much the way I got my first 7-string was when Dream Theater was in the studio writing for 1994's Awake album. And I got a 7-string and we wrote The Mirror right off the bat. I'm looking for that same kind of inspiration from the 8, so I'll treat it, the development of the guitar, from my own perspective as a player, and I'm looking forward to that. Ernie Ball Music Man JP Signature 8-string, coming sometime soon.
This just fucking enrages me, absolutely enrages me. First of all, the stupid comment of, well, I play 7 strings, so why not just add one more string? Well, as you pointed out, you played a 7-string originally in 1994, so it's been 26 years since you had that revelation of, oh, if I add an extra string to a guitar, it gives me all these extra possibilities. And at no point in that 26 years have you gone, why don't I add an extra string? No, you're fucking trend hopping. And the idea of having a signature guitar made for you that you've never experienced, you have never played 8-string, you've never done it, you admit, so he says, I don't play 8-string guitar, I never really played one. So why are you having a signature one made, right? When artists want to try something new, they try the new thing. They don't go, well, I best have a signature model made. It has to be a business opportunity before it's a musical opportunity. Like, for fuck's sake, mate. Like, what are you thinking? What the fuck is going on in your... If you want to try 8-string and play some 8-string on your next record, by all means do. Get a fucking 8-string and put it on your record. And if it works for you and you like it, then consider moving into the land of having an 8-string guitar made. The purpose here is absolutely not to push your creativity. And I'm going to state that. The purpose is not to push your creativity whatsoever. It's to jump on the trend of 8-string guitars being popular, knowing that people will buy something if it has your name on it. So if they're in the market for an 8-string guitar and there's one that has your name on it, they're going to go for that over some of the competition. That's exactly what this is.
And just as a voice of reason, to some degree, credit where credit's due, all of the Ernie Ball Music Man guitars I've played have been incredibly well made and feel great, and I can imagine the Petrucci models are much the same. The 6s and the 7s. So I've got no doubt that Ernie Ball will make a cracking 8-string. I just hope they don't go with the short scale. I hope they make it at least a baritone for that low F sharp. Because all the 8-strings I've played that are standard scale are... They suffer from a design flaw, is probably the best way to put it. I'm not saying that they're not playable or that they don't work well, but it's really hard to get that intonated properly and for that string to vibrate properly and not have those weird intonation issues where, like, you play the F sharp and it's like 2 pitches too high and eventually settles. I have faith that Ernie Ball will do it right, but please just do it right.
Yeah, if they're going to make him the perfect 8-string, they'll throw an Evertune on it and be done with it. And then that low string isn't going to be a problem. For those of you that are aware, obviously, I have an 8-string with an Evertune on it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love it very dearly. But not so much that I play it all the time, because like John Petrucci, I'm going to quote him again on this, like John Petrucci, for me, I don't play 8-string guitar, and I never really played one. I own one, but I never really played it. Now, just because I own one, and I never really played it. I mean, I'm not the marketing opportunity that John Petrucci is, right? But I don't have companies constantly approaching me going, well, we know you've got an 8-string, and no one really thinks of you as playing the 8-string, but would you like to release one as a signature model? That would be the last thing on my mind. Last time I checked, and this was a couple of years ago, you had 14 signature models available with Ernie Ball at any given time. 14. Do you really need more? Really? Really need more? Shame on you, sir.
More money.
This is Unhappy Song. That's what this is. But we can actually use this as a really nice segue, talking about extended range instruments. So, Ibanez guitars.
You're very clever.
Yeah, on the I've been told this before. Ibanez guitars.
Modest as well.
I know, handsome, talented. Like, I'm going to be all right in life, me. I'm going the RuPaul route, right? Which is you have to be able to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love someone else? Which, by the way, is a terrible, terrible quote. It's entirely possible to hate yourself and love someone else. Right? It's entirely possible to hate yourself and love someone else. But if you hate
You're
yourself,
a cynical realist.
Yeah, well, I just feel if you hate yourself, surely if you hate yourself, it's going to be nigh on impossible for anyone else to love you. Because, you know what I mean? That seems like the better quote. How the hell can you expect anyone else to love you if you don't love yourself? So I'm going that route. If I love myself enough, eventually someone else will be tricked into doing the same thing. Sorry, yeah, a bit of a
nefarious plan.
So Ibanez Guitars on the 17th of September posted a picture of a beautiful 7-string, and they put, when Ibanez shocked the world and released the first 7-string electric guitar 30 years ago, little did anyone realise then that just how this instrument would forever change guitar-driven music. Monkey from the band Korn were arguably, and that's the fun part about this, arguably the first musical act to take these instruments and realise their full sonic potential, shaping a sound that would be responsible for creating a whole new movement in music. Korn and Ibanez designed the K7 signature model in the early 2000s, and in so doing created an instrument uniquely suited to match Korn's unique and unparalleled sound.
I mean, I'm reading the quote along with you, and the top comment I can see is, Doug, 30th anniversary K7 is easily one of my most desired Ibanez guitars from this year's releases. Yeah. Totally fair enough. The rest of that sentence, arguably not true.
Which, do you mean the Ibanez quote?
Yes.
Well, I think it's totally passable because they put the arguably part in there. I think there are a lot of bands that we can talk about, and that's really what I wanted to do with this, right? I want to throw this out to our audience. Like, we're going to talk about 7-strings for a little bit here, and if you consider yourself an expert or even just interested in 7-strings and you've got an opinion on who one of the first 7-string bands were, let us know in the comments. Like, let's talk about this. We're going to talk about some famous 7-string guys and some not so famous 7-string guys as part of this, but I won't argue with them. Arguably, Korn were one of the first musical bands to do the 7-string thing. Certainly to craft a sound out of it that other bands were then going, let's do what those guys are doing. You know? What do you think on that?
I was trying to do a bit of research to see where it came from, but I couldn't really find much. However, hilariously, which we were speaking about just earlier on the Wikipedia for 7-string guitars, there is a full part dedicated to basically saying how Maestro Alex Gregory is not anything to do with the popularity. Nah. Let me read this, because it's just like two, 3 sentences, but it's just like
scathing,
just like bursts his bubble, man. It's great. So, Maestro Alex Gregory falsely claims to have invented the 7-string guitar in 1987 when he approached both Gibson and Fender to produce a 7-string guitar for him. He has made numerous false claims in regards to the 7-string guitar and is not considered a reliable source of information, even regarding his own 7-string signature series, which was produced in limited numbers by Fender.
It was never released.
He frequently embellishes the events that took place in all facets of its production.
Well, of course, in the same way that he frequently embellishes the fact that he has an official title of Maestro. Like,
oh, he's a banger, isn't he?
Absolute fucking weapon. Like, Maestro 100%. Alex Gregory is one of the lords of weapons, if you like. If you had a band of weapons, he would absolutely be the king guitar player weapon. I can't think of another guitar player as cringy as fucking Alex Gregory. But I believe the title of Maestro, he's absolutely convinced, or he'll absolutely try and convince you, I should say, that he got the title of Maestro from the Queen of England. Like, he was bestowed the title by the Queen of England. And you know that in reality what's happened is he's just written a letter to the Queen to ask if he could come and perform for her or whatever, and there's been the default response from the Queen's office, the House of Windsor, and it's addressed him as, "Dear Maestro Alex Gregory, we appreciate the offer, but we will have to decline you at this time." And rather than going, "Oh fuck, I've been knocked back by the Queen," he's gone, "Ha ha, I've been bestowed the title of Maestro." Fucking what a cringe lord. But yeah, he did have a signature Fender 7-string that was made, and it was made before the Universe came out. So you could argue that it was the first solid body, mass produced 7-string electric guitar, but you can't, because it wasn't mass produced. It wasn't released.
That's
it was
right.
prototyped and shown at the NAMM show.
Correct. If you read through the rest of the Wikipedia, it says exactly the same thing. 1987, Fender signed an agreement with Alex Gregory, I love how they left out Maestro, you'll be fucking raging, to produce a Stratocaster-style guitar that featured a high A string. A small number of prototypes were made. However, the unit was never put into production. Yep. And then it goes on basically just talking, he has made numerous false claims, the same as what it says in the first paragraph, which is fantastic. Yeah. It also goes on to say the first mass-produced 7-string was the Ibanez UV7 as a signature model for Steve Vai. Yep. So, are Ibanez forgetting their history?
Well, so yeah, I think that's worth. Obviously, they've made this post in order to promote the fact that there's a new guitar coming out, and I totally see that. Like, but everybody knows that it was the Universe. But that's the point. Of course. Korn were picking up that guitar, and I kind of like. You never see Steve Vai trying to make the claim that he invented or even popularized the 7-string, right? He certainly was the guy that encouraged that to be brought to market, but he did not exploit it, you know? He had, very much like John Petrucci making an 8-string, you know? He had a 7-string that he sometimes played the low string on. It certainly wasn't a big part of his sound. You could be a huge Steve Vai fan, not own a 7-string, and play like Steve Vai, right? You could not be a fan of Korn and play like Korn without having a guitar that you could tune down to A. So that was just a huge part of their sound, and I'm glad. I mean, actually, looking at that K7, it is a nice looking guitar. So,
is that it?
Yeah. The other reason I
love
brought this up,
the weird trem bar.
Yeah, those like the palm
bar.
When you look at this, so this post on Facebook has 234 comments, right? And it's your typical internet expert idiots that you're going to read over and over again, pointing out, you know, okay, here's one. John Wilson, pretty sure George Van Epps had Ibanez beat by several decades. And then there's a picture of George Van Epps playing his 7-string jazz hollow body, right? Nowhere in Ibanez's post did they say, we invented the 7-string guitar. You know what I mean? They literally talk about how Korn helped to popularize it and create an entirely new sound, an entirely new musical influence. George Van Epps didn't do that. Go on.
I'm going to have to stop you, because the first sentence says, when Ibanez shocked the world and released the first 7-string electric guitar 30 years ago. That's not true. It's not strictly true, because as you're talking about George Van Epps, I'm pretty sure he had guitars with electric guitars. He had a Gretsch signature, and somebody else built him a 7-string.
Yeah,
Gibson, maybe?
No, you are fair, and I feel that they've missed out solid body in there, because that is absolutely important.
See if they just wrote modern.
Sure. Yeah.
Or like extended range lower, rather than it being a high A, which I believe George Van Epps had as well. Because it was a Jazzers thing, wasn't it? The
no, he absolutely had a low A.
Oh, did he? A low A?
Low
right, okay, so more like a pedal then? Or like a drone?
It's actually really clever. So when I got my first 7-string, I put it in A, and it instantly made sense to me, because you've then got any chord voicing that you would play with the root initially on an A string for jazz guitars, they work, but that bass note is too high. Whereas when you have a low A string, any chord voicing you would normally play with the root on that 5th string, you can then put it just on the same fret but down, so you have a lower octave, and you know what, it thickens up the sound a lot.
That makes a lot of sense, because I believe that's how Tosin Abasi tunes his 8-string.
Right.
Because it's standard with a low E.
Okay.
The F sharp's dropped to E.
Yeah.
So you can do like an extended bar chord.
Yeah.
So not symmetrical, but like if you play a bar chord and you bar the full 8 strings, then you get the right notes. So that's cool. That makes sense.
It just seems silly to argue about like who invented the concept of putting an extra string on a guitar. It's like Nobody invented that concept. I think the most important thing is about who popularized it, who made it cool to do it. Because just like, I don't know, okay, lap steel guitars that have varying amount of strings, and then pedal steel guitars that you'll see 8-string, 10-string, 12-string pedal steel guitars, and these are predate these types of electric guitars by a considerable period. Nobody would take credit for that. Brazilian coro players, the 7-string classical players, like that's a big part of that that sound. Again, 7-string, and none of those guys are going, we invented it. I have to give not specifically Ibanez, but Korn that credit, because I do and they're not a band that I particularly am fond of. They have a few songs that I think are fantastic, but overall I was never really into Korn. But I just don't think it can be really taken away, like how influential Korn were. I really don't think it can be taken away from them. So Ibanez, I do feel that the point they're making is still kind of right. But what do you think, people that are watching or listening to the show?
Yes.
Do you feel invented or certainly popularised the 7-string sound? And if they're not as big as Korn, then it's going to be a tough argument to make. You know what I mean? There absolutely will have been bands, of course. As soon as that universe came out, the Steve Vai universe, there will have been bands that were like, oh, we should play these. But it's not about who did it first. It's about who changed the world with it first. And that might sound really dramatic when I put it that way, but like, that new metal thing, like that was something else when that started to happen. So
oh, absolutely, it was like a subculture that still somehow fit the mainstream but had its own rebellion to it. It was like our generation's punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That almost rebellious nature to it. So I'd be really interested to see what people have got to say about 7-strings and extended range guitars in general. I would love one of the RG XLs.
Which one's that?
The older ones have got extended range.
Oh, okay, yep.
They're a 27, maybe a 27.5-inch scale. They are fucking cool. They're really, really cool.
You know what I'd really like?
Tell me.
I would like a 7-string Ormsby with an Evertune. That's what I'd really like. So, Perry, if you could send it out my...
Putting out the call to the universe.
This is how that works. It's like force powers, but like to somebody that's not actually watching. He's just going to wake up.
Internet-based mind tricks.
Yeah, he'll be sleeping right now. Just suddenly wake up and go, I need to build a guitar, and I don't know why. I don't know where this has come from. But the cold sweats. I'm giving Perry the cold sweats.
I think it's enough shit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's move on to the final story. And yes. I didn't post this one in the group. I actually posted this on the Guitar Boomer posting page because this is such a fucking boomer post. If ever I saw it. Did you take a look through this?
I've only just seen it, and I read the headline and the subtitle and went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So King Crimson frontman, that's Jacko Jaksic. I interviewed him before. He's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. Explains what fans need to understand about the band's strict no phone policy, and then talks about entitlement. Mike, would you like to tell us more about what Jacko Jaksic has had to say?
Absolutely. Big F in the chat, boys. Yeah. So this is Ultimate Guitarist, exclusive to them. It was posted a day ago, and the subtitle is, "I've paid for a ticket to come and watch the show, so I'll take pictures if I want to," which seems to be someone's take on it. So during a conversation with UG's Justin Beckner, King Crimson singer-guitarist Jacko Jaksic discussed the band's strict no phone policy during live shows, explaining what the fans should understand about it. Jacko has been a member of The Fold since 2013, and the band's come back with a 3-drummer lineup. 3-drummer? Fuck off. He's gearing up to release a solo album entitled Secrets and Lies on October 23rd. No. When asked, "I recall hearing some squabbling regarding King Crimson's camera and phone policy at shows. Is that to protect the sanctity of the new material you guys have been working on?" Jacko replied, "Here's the thing. Any Crimson fan coming to the shows know this. During soundcheck, we run through a piece called Fracture. To Crimson fans, it's one of the holy grails, and we don't play it very often." Talk about blowing smoke up your own arse. Anyway, sometimes it appears in the set and we still don't play it, and the reason we don't play it is because someone has taken a photograph. It's a difficult enough piece to play as it is, but playing it in the new tuning is a real challenge for guitarist bandleader Robert Fripp. He's kind of out on his own, and it's a real leap of faith. If we do a show where there are cameras going off, it will just screw his concentration and he won't do it. I think sometimes people have a sense of entitlement that I've paid for a ticket to come watch the show, so I'll take pictures if I want to. Well, okay, but if you're labouring under the apprehension that your behaviour is not going to affect how the show is, then you're very wrong. There's a case in point. Can I just stop it and say, as a touring musician, the majority of my experience is live shows.
Yep.
If you think that people watching you is going to make you nervous, don't do fucking live shows.
Yeah.
It's not like Robert Phipp hasn't got experience in being out there.
Yeah. And I could rant, and I am going to rant on this when we're done with it. So I will bite my tongue. Go on.
Right, that's fine. I'm totally happy for you to just boil away until you're ready.
Yeah.
So,
but you did it too. You did it too, there, right? You're reading this, and you just had to stop and like interject because you're just boiling over with like how stupid this is.
Exactly. It's like saying, I mean, the music's too difficult to play. When somebody brings a camera out, you're going to break my concentration. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. That's like the same excuses that psychics make in front of James Randi when they can't they can't reenact it. Or you're making me nervous that the situation's not right and my chi's not flowing. Like, no, actually, you just can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, if you get to a point where you can't play a song because it's notoriously difficult in your set and you don't feel confident doing it, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Play the ones you're confident with, that you can put a good show on with, that you enjoy playing, because you don't want to be on the stage fucking shiting yourself. But Jesus Christ, like, the whole point is that you're meant to be entertaining this audience. That's almost like saying, I don't want the audience to look at me because I might get nervous at me playing my gig for them. Like, of course they're allowed to watch you. They've came to the fucking show. They've paid money to come and see you perform. Honestly, man, can you imagine going to like a theatre show, right? Like, you go to Lion King and you're like fucking Simba goes, no, wait, stop, I can't do this. There's too many people watching. Like, what did you think this was? A fucking empty hall?
This has made me so unbelievably happy, and I hope that people timestamp this moment, because it's a very rare occasion that Mike just goes off on one.
It's such a stupid comment and point and argument to make.
It gets worse.
I've got no doubt, right? So, we'll continue, and I'm probably going to stop half. I mean, there's about fucking 8 paragraphs, so I probably will stop, but I'll try my best not to annotate, right? I know we're on a deadline here. If a camera goes off and Fracture is on the set list, Robert won't play it because he feels it compromises his ability to play it. I've never met people, ever, as a tour musician, I've been on a lot of stages, that their hands don't work if a camera's near them. Is he like fucking Saul's brother in Better Call Saul?
No, he's
Chuck. He's electrosynthesis, fucking sensitivity, whatever it is.
He's a Native American. And if you take his picture, it will steal his soul. And that's him. He can't. That's
right. But he can go into it with G3.
Yeah.
And as long as they've got cameras and stuff, it's fine. Yeah. Because at that point, he's just playing shit drones and annoying everybody else in the crowd when they've came to see some cool instrumental music. So excuse me. The filming thing. There are a couple of things about the filming thing. One is Gavin Harrison, our drummer. He says it affects him because if in the middle of a solo and he's thinking about trying something unusual or trying a new thing that's just come into his head and he sees somebody filming, he won't do it. I don't believe that for a second for Gavin Harrison.
Yeah.
Gavin Harrison being the drummer that was in Porcupine Tree and being an absolute monster.
Yeah.
But like a tasty drummer, not has to show off, just a good drummer in the pocket. Because in his head he's thinking, oh shit, if I do this and I cock it up, it's going to be on YouTube before I get back to the hotel. So it affects you on that level too.
Now I'm going to interject at this point, right? A video of you fucking something up on YouTube is a problem. What? Because you need to create this air of you are a perfect musician and you never make mistakes. If that's the air that you're going for, maybe don't do an interview where you say that, you know, we're right on the edge of our technical ability and anything could make us unable to perform this song physically. Like that, like we don't need to see videos of you fucking the song up to know that you're constantly on the edge of almost fucking this song up. Like, come on.
That's the excitement of fucking live music. As a musician, the enjoyment I get from playing the party can and stuff is exactly what you've said. It's on the edge of my technical ability.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're learning these fucking crazy, nonsensical patterns and fast bits and trying to sync up with another guitarist, a bassist, the vocalist, the drummer, and that's the enjoyment. There's an enjoyment in trying to fit into a frenetic environment and get it right. If you get it wrong, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, the perfect example being Richie Faulkner making a mistake with that delay pedal and then tagging Kieran on fucking Instagram.
Yeah.
Remember? Like, ha ha ha, look, I'm playing in front of a fucking stadium and I've just reminded myself that I watched this funny video.
Yeah.
Great, perfect, you know what I mean? Like, totally rescued it, like, oh, well done, I played the wrong note. Oh, well. Fuck, honestly, man, what an absolute set of self-important wanks.
Yeah, and trust me, the next paragraph, mate.
I just read it,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm ranting now, because I'm not going to get the rest of this fucking interview done. On a personal level, I don't know how old you are, but I have 2 kids, and I really started to resent the tyranny of having to film my children doing stuff for the first time because I'm physically there. So you hate the idea of easily documenting your children's lives for their and your own enjoyment and history and records.
Yeah.
You hate that. You are an absolute dick.
I know. Imagine like I don't know, your child turns 30 and they're married, and you sit down with them and you're sharing a moment, and you're like, you know, I've still got the videos of the time you took your first ever steps. We should watch over them. But imagine having that conversation, but instead of going, we should watch over them, going, well, I still remember you taking your first steps, but you know, I'll be dead soon, so those memories will die with me. Like, come on. Come on.
I don't even think it's
the tyranny of recording a video of your child taking their first steps, you fucking lunatic.
I think the bit that gets me is if it's like a labour for them. Surely, like, nobody's forcing you to do it.
Phones are really heavy, man. Like, oh, we talked about this last time on the show with the frail jokes. Like, phones are heavy.
So, I'm physically there on sports day watching them run. I'm physically there watching my son try to walk across the kitchen for the first time, and I don't get to see it or experience it because I'm looking through some sodding little lens.
Because recording a video on your phone is really hard unless you're looking at it like this.
Maybe you're too old to use technology. Robert and Janus, whatever your name is. Jacko.
Yeah.
Like,
Janus.
That sounds really... I know that... I just wanted to say anus. It sounds really dismissive and horrible for me to say that, but Christ almighty, like, if you're genuinely complaining about having to use the easiest technology that you've ever had, the most accessible technology you've ever had, that you can record things in fucking more than HD, more than 60 frames a second, from inside your pocket, from pressing one button twice... Yep. Maybe you shouldn't be using that technology. Don't be talking about being on the edge of your technical ability when you can't use a smartphone without complaining. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to go any further with the quote. I think we've painted the right picture. But like,
please let me read the rest of it, because if there's any other bits I want to rant about, I just want to get this out of my system.
Go on then.
Because I'm going to be stewing on this for the day. The first time I get to see it's on some fuzzy little recording I made in the living room with other people. I then think, why would you want to do that at a gig? We worked very hard to make it sound right. We've got an amazing sound guy. You're in the middle of this experience and you want to look at it through this horrible, blurry little thing where the sound is completely shit. To do what? Does it then become an authentic memento of where you were at the time? I don't get it. It doesn't bother me in the same way as it does the others, I guess, but I know it affects the others sufficiently that it compromises what we do and how it sounds. I just don't understand it on a completely level where it just makes no sense to me. Good sentence, bro. Great English.
Well, it's quality ultimate guitar journalism, right?
To be fair, like, not all of them are terrible.
Yeah.
Just because it's a public forum website where you can post on it whatever you want. Yeah. They're not all terrible, right? But oh my god, if your only complaint or if your main complaint about the songs you're writing being technical is that somebody might film you, just don't write technical songs, you fucking wank.
Yeah.
Why would you write things that you find hard to play if you're not willing to play them live?
There are just so many better arguments for why we don't allow phones at our shows, you know? And you should never go with the, well, you know, we just find that it makes it much harder for us to perform. It's incredibly easy for us to perform when you're watching us, right? Like now, you're listening to everything I'm saying, you're not struggling with it. It's easy. Oh fuck, suddenly it's just become impossible. It doesn't compute.
Sorry, I get totally tongue-tied because I saw a camera.
I know, it's
scary.
Yeah. I'm at a loss for words myself. Like, what a terribly poor take on this. To me, this just is terribly poor take. And I've seen a lot of people defending them when I posted this on the Boomer page, having a laugh at this, because they're like, yeah, but I mean, you know, have you ever tried to play some of their material? Like, it's at the top tier of technical prowess. Like, no, it's not. It's not. It used to be. It used to be at the pinnacle of some of, you know, technical and rhythmical progressive masterpieces. But music's come a long way since, you know, and there are some astonishingly talented musicians out there that are playing music that I couldn't ever fathom being able to perform live, right? And they'll do it while running around a stage. Like, a long running joke among I want to say King Crimson fans, but probably more King Crimson haters. Like, why would you bother going to see King Crimson live? Because they don't engage. They're just focusing on playing the music, and that's a terrible argument as well. But still, like, we're not talking about a band that's full of energy and like going out there and putting on a great live show. They're doing a performance, a classical performance, if you like. Yeah, odd one. Just
here's my question, right? What age is Jacko Jackson?
What, 50, 56?
62.
Okay.
Right? Let me just a second, right? Bruce Dickinson is 62.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
The guys in Iron Maiden are old, and they still put on one of the most outrageous shows you'll ever see. And their songs aren't always easy to play either. I'm not saying they're terribly difficult.
Sure.
But they put a show on. They understand that there's fun in engaging with bands and not being a wee prissy bitch about somebody having a fucking camera phone.
Yeah.
About a video that you'll probably never see that is absolutely inconsequential to your life and your gigging. And if you're really that sensitive about people watching you play at live gigs, don't play live gigs.
Yeah.
Fuck me, just go into the studio and record it.
Yeah, if you want to listen to what Jacko's saying and what Robert Fripp is saying when they say things like this, and your argument is that these guys are at the peak of physical performance and we have to help them to be able to do their physical performances in whatever way we can. Well, no, they are not. They're clearly not at the peak of their performance because there are areas that they can improve. You can be the greatest singer in the world. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, nobody would question it. You are the greatest singer in the world when you sing in your shower alone at home. But if you fall to shit the second somebody tries to listen to you or tries to record you, then you've got areas to work on. You're functionally useless as a singer. And I'm not saying that these guys are functionally useless as musicians, but I ultimately just don't buy the excuse. Like, just go with the traditional excuse, which is we want people to engage in the show. We want to feel that we're sharing a moment with people. We want you to... We don't want footage of the live show to be going up so people are hearing a lesser quality version of the stuff that we're doing. We want the sound to always be the best. Go with all of those arguments. Say that we are traditionalists and we like how shows used to be rather than the direction that shows have gone in. There are all of these arguments that you can make about reasons why you would ban phones from shows. This is the worst argument I think that you could possibly make.
I think I've just read through the comments, had a quick nosy, and there's one that stands out that does a much better job of what Jacko's saying and doing it justice than what he has said, right? And this is about what Robert Fripp's been saying since 73, 74, 75 apparently, right? His opinion is that if people are busy taking pictures, video, then they're not really present at the event, contributing their energy and attention, which in turn lowers the energy the band picks up on and gives back, which in turn lowers the energy the audience experiences and gives back to the band. In the 70s, he began referring to this as the vampiric nature of the live show. If only the band is putting out energy and the audience is too busy taking photos or videos trying to capture a moment of the event rather than actively participating in the event as a whole, then they're sucking the energy out of the show. His vampiric statement also referred to the 70s situation he experienced where the band was elevated to musical gods, while the audience assumed the role of lesser humans. His goal was for the audience to just be as important as the band in creating the musical event. Shut up.
Yeah, like
if you made it in these words, I could have just said shut up.
Yeah, citations needed on that one. I've never heard somebody use the word energy so many times and not be able to demonstrate any of that. Like, you know what I mean?
Aye.
You're just talking pseudoscientific bullshit here. Like, if you believe all of that nonsense that you're putting out there, then surely, you know, we're all connected by energy anyway. And, you know, really, we don't even need to be at the shows because we can just, you know, astrally project ourselves and connect our energy with one another. Like, fuck off, you absolute cretins.
I've been firing wavelengths down the street to you in your house. Yeah. You know, been getting them.
Yeah. And again, I'm firing them to Perry as we speak.
Your camera's blocking them. That's why he's not woke up yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I've completely changed my opinion, Jacko. You are absolutely right. Cameras ruin absolutely everything. Like, I don't know about you, but I find, and I've not been performing, and I consider what we're doing now performance, right? I'm engaged, like I'm going into character mode and trying to entertain people. I have had to learn how to perform like this. I have had to learn how to become comfortable on camera and to really open up and like be myself or explore the entertainment side of things, right? And in terms of that level of performance, I have considerably less performance experience than any of these guys in this band. To me, the camera would never put me off from performing. Well, there certainly was a time when it did. But now I'm performing to it. You know what I mean? So the idea of someone recording me doesn't terrify me. It's actually something that I'm going to play into. I'm going to make more of a point of it. I'm going to, go nuts for it. The only people that I think can make an argument for cameras, like comedians. Comedians make sense. When we saw Russell Howard recently walk out of a performance and not come back and finish the show because he was testing out new material and someone was filming him. And it's like, in comedy, recording a comedian live and then uploading essentially all of their punchlines will potentially ruin the experience for someone. But this is a fucking live gig of songs that people know. And actually, if you could look at bands like the Grateful Dead or that entire jam band scene, that whole thing survives on the sharing of bootlegs and shit like that. Like, some guys are just really, really, really into live performances over studio performances. So I'm never going to sit here and try and make the argument that, it should be encouraged. You should encourage your fans to record you. No, you shouldn't. But you should certainly never be fucking put off by the fact that your fans record you. I just don't see it.
I think if you're that long into your musical career and that successful in music career and you still find that these things have an effect on your abilities, you probably need to practice more.
Yeah.
As horrible as that sounds, or as dismissive as that sounds,
Sure.
You need to reconcile those feelings.
Yeah.
And I know exactly where you're coming from when you're talking about having to teach yourself, having to learn how to be comfortable in front of your camera and do your thing. Because I've had to do the same. Like, when I first started gigging when I was younger, I was fucking shit scared of the crowd. I had no interaction. I sung in a band first and I was really bad. I would be able to sing at band practice and I would get on stage and shit myself and forget words and just stand there and be embarrassed. And it happens. And then I started playing guitar in a band and same again, but I got to just not give a fuck about making mistakes. And you cut your teeth within the first couple of years and you get into the understanding of, it's alright if I make a mistake. First of all, it's our music, nobody knows. Secondly, if it's that bad, make a laugh about it and just join right back in.
Yeah.
Like, you're not expected to be perfect as a musician. If you went to shows and every band was like exactly like the album, what's the fucking point in going?
Put the album on.
Exactly. Like, I mean, there's some bands I've saw that are album quality, but still have the live edge performance-wise, like Tesseract live.
Yeah.
Not everybody's cuppa. They sound incredible live.
Great live, yeah.
Tight as fuck.
Yeah.
Dan Tompkins can sing like fuck. And it's entertaining because they've got everything synced up. Good light show. As I say, the sound's great. They all know their place on the stage and they let Dan just do his thing.
Yeah. Yep.
No, a bit cringy when he's putting the masks on and stuff, or was that? No, that wasn't. That was
Symphony X.
Symphony X, that's right.
Yeah.
Again, tremendous live.
Yeah.
Michael Romeo, just like the argument for it doesn't matter what's happening in the crowd.
Yeah.
If you've got it switched on, it's switched on.
Yeah.
That cunt was absolutely ruining every other live guitarist I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't giving a fuck, just bouncing about, wearing his Jacobite shirt like.
Yeah, the best thing about that, all that stuff we talk about, right, is I've been on the front row for Symphony X gigs, several Symphony X gigs, stood right in front of Michael Romeo, and I've got loads of footage that I've taken of Michael playing live, right? And I'm so fucking happy that I've got it. I'm so happy I've got it because I don't know when I'll be able to see that band again live, right? But I can relive that footage if I want to. And when I was filming, I wasn't sat looking through my camera like this. It was just at my chest like this. I'm enjoying the show, and the camera shots aren't great. Sure, probably would have been better if I was filming like this, but it wasn't. It was just this. And that footage is precious to me. It legitimately is very precious to me because it just transports me back to another time.
Sometimes, and sometimes you get you can capture something that you didn't even mean to capture and it catches you off guard. I filmed a wee bit of the Tesseract set and there's a bit where Dan hits some crazy whistle note. I didn't know it was coming because it was the new material I didn't know, and when it happened and I was filming it, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Because that guy can sing, and it wasn't just like a wee it was like big power coming from his chest, singing this silly high note over the top of this band and getting it right and being like,
absolute monster.
Did I just witness this?
Yeah.
This is good evidence that I did. Anyway, if you are scared of performing live, that's fine. That's normal. If you get nerves, I still get fucking nerves. That's completely normal. Any musician that doesn't get nerves is probably complacent or very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
You should have a wee element of excitement in your stomach Otherwise, I think you're maybe found a bit, your music career's a bit stale.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about things as well. If I get too comfortable in my own shell, then I'm not enjoying it as much. Whereas if it's like, I need to put a bit of effort in to play well, and I know that I'm going to have to do good to get people interested, then sound like that's
what we should do. That's what we should have. So, Jacko, I'm going to end the show today by calling you out, mate. If you think that you've got it hard, okay, I'll tell you what, why don't you and Mike switch roles for a tour, right? You can depth for Mike in Party Cannon.
Let's do it. I'll send you some tabs, mate. I've got all the music on Guitar Pro. You can have every tab. Not only does it have the guitars in there, it's got the bass and the drums, so you'll be able to learn the full track, and you'll know what the drums sound like. Most of the drum tracks sound exactly like how Martin's played them, other than being MIDI. So, challenge set.
There you go. So it's on you, Jacko. So thank you very much.
Come on, Jacko. Let's see you do it.
Yeah, do that. Also,
if I can play MD,
while I have you. This show has been brought to you by our friends over at Ormsby Guitars. If you have the time, please do head on over and follow them on Instagram to see more of their incredible work. I'm actually spending more and more of my time each day scrolling through Instagram and really getting the appeal of looking at incredible instruments like this. It just makes you want to order something really, really special. Of course, you can always contact them if you want to order a custom shop guitar, or head on over to their website, check out the pre-order section, and get involved on the upcoming Goliath Run 14. Again, one of these guitars can be pre-ordered for as little as $1,200 US. That's an incredible price. That's a lot of guitar for very little money. So if you want something like this in your life, head on over to ormsbyguitars.com and get involved. Thanks so much to Ormsby, and we'll see you for another show soon. Laters. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast comes to an end. Thank you very much for spending your time with us, and thank you very, very much to our friends over at Ormsby for the continued love and support. It really does mean a lot, a lot. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming stuff that we have coming with Ormsby, and you guys are absolutely going to love it too. And we've had a lot of really good responses actually to those new ads, those ad rolls that I've put in with all the pictures from Instagram. So do head on over and follow them on Instagram, because nothing will inspire you more than waking up your day and scrolling through Instagram and just seeing some things that just make you go, why is this not in my collection?
Woodlust.
Yeah.
Genuine woodlust.
It's just occurred to me, I the other big rage that I didn't let out, which is guitar letting me down. My Brent Mason telly won't be here until the last week of December now, so thanks for that. Thanks guys. It's not like I need it. It's not, well, I don't need it. It's not like I really, really want it and would have a really good reason to have it. It's not like, of everybody in the world, aside from maybe Brent Mason, me having that guitar right now would probably be the best person that could have it. You know, seeing as I'm doing a Brent Mason solo on YouTube every single day and have done for the last 34 days and will continue to do it until I hit 365. But yeah, don't worry. This cunt can wait until the end of December for his guitar.
Levi.
Yeah.
Calm yourself down. You're sounding like that guy that claims that he's the only person that can do George Benson lessons. You're just getting a bit too heated there, but you make a very valid point, and you and I have had this conversation over and over. Why Fender are not, at the very least, trying to help you get one of these in your hands to do this thing that clearly is going to add value to that guitar and the brand. Not to say they're not already popular or whatever else, but who else is giving them that kind of advertising revenue?
The amount of people that have commented on those videos going, oh man, I'd heard Brent's name, but I'd never really listened to any of his stuff. This really makes me want to go and check out everything that he's doing. Like, yeah, of course it fucking would. He's great.
You'll need millenniums.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm only at 1997 with these recordings, so I've still got a good 23 years of recordings to go through. So when I say 365 solos, shouldn't be that much of a problem to find them all. Yeah. So there we go. That's fun. Any closing messages for our friends and fans and lovers?
Aye. Keep buying merch, t-shirts, link below. Support both of us. Levi's also in the situation where we could really do with some financial help as well.
I'm right in the shitter, mate.
No, we'll get there, right? Things will work out fine.
We'll be fine.
And you know what? On top of that, I want to say thanks to everyone who has picked up some merch and helped out, or even sent a kind message, or even thought about doing it.
Yeah.
We don't take it lightly. I don't expect anyone to be like, fuck it, I'll just drop 200 quid on this or 20 quid on this. Sure. I don't, not like that. Current situation is shit for everyone, or at least hard for everyone. So any of your attention, any of your well wishes or good intent goes a long way.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And the reason we do this as much as we super enjoy hanging out and talking shit about guitar stuff, because we are fucking guitar nerds.
Yeah.
Right? We are. The fact that other people want to engage is fucking golden.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much more fun, so much easier to schedule when you're like, you know that people have sent you messages and you know that there's people who are waiting on it, and it's really cool. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We do this for you because you guys are awesome. So, Mike, until next time.
Peace and goodwill to all men again.
Fuck is this? You bring great shame on your dishonor. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on you, cow. Dishonor.
That wee Mulan fucking quote. I love it.